Hey, what is up, everybody? This is steviebreech coming to you here today on my way home from work. It is the 26th of December. We have completed the week of Christmas. We have completed the Christmas week. I have 2 days off. I come back and I prepare for the rush of New Year's. I don't know. We really don't have a huge, knockdown sale for New Year's each and every year. But there'll be some people in there. I'm sure on the 31st we'll be kind of busy. But I am glad to have these 2 days off. I can honestly say that football on Christmas, still not 100% used to it. I do agree with LeBron James. I don't think I agree with LeBron all that much. But Christmas, my whole life, has always been the NBA's holiday. I can kind of remember last year some games being played on Christmas because I think, or maybe it was the year before. I remember there was a year where Christmas was on like a Sunday and they just had to play football. I don't know, but I can tell you honestly that the thoughts that I had of being scared of wrestling, Monday Night Raw coming to the Netflix, was honestly really erased. I think Netflix did really, really well with the NFL. I can honestly say that what I watched of both games, I think they handled the capacity of the people that wanted to watch them. Now, I do not know the ratings. I do know that I think football is probably going to be king of the day, but I think that NBA action took a little bit away from him. I was a big fan of the NBA at Disneyland game with Mickey Mouse, Minnie, Donald, Goofy. Goofy was over there pounding churros like he was going out of style, and we had Minnie Mouse win the dunk contest. We had Donald have a career day. He was ripping off balls left and right, and he was stealing them, chucking up threes. He looked like he was making just about every shot that he had. Those games are fun. I always end up watching them a little bit too long. The way that they focus those games towards kids, they explain every little rule that comes up, and it's pretty aggravating. But the coverage of the NFL on Netflix I thought was awesome. How they got all of those people to work an extra, it is pretty much like all of them called in sick and just went to go work somewhere else. You had like Mina Kimes from ESPN. You had Greg Olson from Fox. It was almost like the dream team of dream teams put together working for Netflix for the day. I don't know if they had to put in a special request, and it looked like nobody's like number ones were working, but definitely anybody that wanted to work was available too. But it was really good. They put together a good show. I have gone 3 minutes and 30 seconds. I've put this off long enough. This video is going to be about the San Francisco 49ers playing the Detroit Lions on Monday. This game has every opportunity to be a bloodbath. This is going to be bad. This is going to be ugly. I saw the report that came out yesterday. Dan Campbell was asked, what he was going to put together for his plan of attack for the game. Was he going to try and take this easy to, basically say that the Niners weren't the team that they thought they were going to be when they pulled them on the schedule? Were they going to start giving guys rest, getting them ready for the playoffs? And Dan Campbell pretty much said that he was going to be bringing the horses, and they were all going to run. He's going to be playing everybody on the roster. They're coming to win that game. Their plan is to win, and basically that's all that they're going to set themselves up for. They're still in the running for the number one seed in the NFC. That obviously is their goal. And I'm all for it. I want to see Niners go out there and put up one hell of a fight. Side note about the game. story came out today, and at first I didn't know if it was like a joke tweet or, you know, really what it was, but Teddy Bridgewater, old Viking, I think that's pretty much where he found the most success in the NFL, is going to be unretiring, and he's going to be re-signing with the Detroit Lions. I don't know who the Detroit Lions backup quarterback is. I didn't know that they had an injury or anything where they needed to sign an emergency quarterback, or I really don't know why this signing is taking place. It's not like he's going to be getting signed and being put on the practice squad or anything like that. He's a real rostered player, and I'm all for it. I was a big fan of Bridgewater. Of course, he had the knee injury and never really was the same. I know that it looked like the Vikings were really going to build something around him, and they were going to be a force, and it just never took off. And it sucked. But him coming back, even if it's just to be on the roster for the end of this season, that's going to be freaking awesome. I haven't really read a story figuring out why they're trying to do it. I think that the Lions are pretty much built that if Jared Goff goes down, the team goes down with him. So I don't think there's any plans for Bridgewater to play anytime soon. So I don't know. It's a pretty big story. The Niners. We are 6-9. That is not where we want to be at all. We've already pretty much talked to this to death. We're not even done after this game because we have to play Arizona next week in a game that really does not matter for anybody. But you're really going to be thinking that the Niners would love to end this season with a 2-game winning streak. For the people that say that the 49ers should lose these games and fall to a spot in the draft, I think that when you come into a season with the expectations of winning a Super Bowl, and you're stocked up as you are with skill players at skill positions, there's no letting yourself fall and hopefully getting a good draft pick. We've had years that sucked. Of course, that's how we got Nick Bosa when Garoppolo went down. And we found out that, you know, we had a good team, but we really weren't ready to win without him. You know, with CJ Beathard and the other one. I can never think of both of their names together that played that year. The year that we broke the tight end, George Kittle, the receiving record, where it came down to the last game where it was Kittle versus Kelsey, and Kittle ended up getting the win there. And that was one of the bright spots from that season, was making George Kittle the star that he is known as today. But this game is going to suck. The Lions are a really good team. The Lions are going to remember that we bounced them out of the NFC Championship game last year. They're going to see Brock Purdy out there still playing. Purdy's going to be trying to throw the ball to whoever is going to be out there. I guess Debo's going to be out there. You know, George Kittle's going to be out there. Running back looks like it's going to be a problem. Isaac Guerrero is questionable as of right now. We can cross our fingers and really hope that he is going to play. It's going to be tough, you know, even without him. You know, people are basically saying that the Madden curse took out the whole 49ers, you know, running back depth chart this season. It's the first time it's really affected anybody like that, but we just got tore up from the floor up. We just got to finish this year. That's about it, you know. So hopefully my video is going to be a lot better on Sunday after the game. But no, I apologize. This is a Monday night game. I knew about that, and I even forgot about it. So Monday night, we got Niners versus Lions. Let's go, baby. Lions need this win. They want this win. They got to keep going and getting ready for the playoffs. 49ers, we don't have really a chance to play spoiler because it's not like if we win this game, the Lions get bounced in the playoffs or even they lose their spot in the playoffs and they fall out of losing a bye or anything like that. But we need a win, man. This ain't the NFC Championship game, but I know that this team is going to go out there with pride and basically go out there and try and win a game. That's all I can really ask, man. We've been bad before. We've been bad. This year just sucked. We're bad. And I think everybody has faith that we're not going to be bad next year. So let's see what we got going. Peace out. All right, we're 21-13 going into the half. Moody missed the kick. It is what it is. We'll talk about that later. At the end, we'll talk about that in the offseason. We'll figure out that problem. But I thought the Niners were going to go out there with heart. I knew they weren't going to give up with the leadership that this team has, the veterans that they have, the guys out there like Kittle with that much heart. There's no way they're dying out. I mean, just look at the Giants yesterday. Going out there, pulling out that win, even though it meant that they weren't going to get the number 1 pick in the draft. And they were going into the locker room talking to those guys, and they were just basically saying, like, we don't give a fuck about the draft. We care about us. And, if we go out there and dog it, ownership is going to say, like, hey, we don't need these guys anymore. Let's get new guys. They had a bad year. They're not going to finish on a bad note. The Niners are out there. I'm not going to say that, back in the day, I used to make those videos talking about, like, an emotional victory. Like, this is one for the locker room if we don't win this game. Let's fucking win this game. I mean, we had a bad year. We beat the Lions. I mean, we're not killing the Lions because the Lions still, one way or another, are going to play that game against Minnesota next week. But the Lions want to win this game. The Lions remember the freaking NFC Championship game. They're not going to gift us this. Let's go out there and let's take this. We've had a lot of problems all year long going into the half with a lead and not being able to support the lead in the third and the fourth. Let's not give this back. Niners need to win this game. Let's go. I'm back into the game. 40-34. We lost the game. It was a game, honestly, that we didn't have any business playing as well as we did. That was a good game. That was fun. It lost. It's like getting kicked in the dick. Purdy got hurt. Before that, Purdy threw 2 interceptions, 2 bad balls. Pretty much looked like both of them were his fault. It wasn't like anybody ran the wrong route or anybody got hit or anything like that. Just Purdy threw a ball. It is what it is. They talked, I believe, at halftime about like what the 49ers are going to do. A lot of people think that Purdy's going to get an extension. They're saying it's not really like locked up in the books. I know we're supposed to be just talking about the Lions game here, but there's no way in the world that the 49ers are not going to give Brock Purdy as much money as he wants. If he wants to be the number 1 paid quarterback in the league, you don't let a guy like that leave to bring Sam Bradford back. You don't do that to bring Kirk Cousins in. If they wanted Kirk Cousins, they could have had Kirk Cousins 5-6 years ago from the Redskins. We don't need a washed up Kirk Cousins who couldn't play in Atlanta this year. The guy's gonna lose his job to Penix, something like that. The kid from Washington that I watched yesterday in the game against Washington. Man, they played with a lot of energy. They played with a lot of heart. Guys like George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, you could tell that there was guys on that field that did not want to lose, that didn't want this way to go down. The 49ers have 10 losses on the year. I understand, Christian McCaffrey didn't play the first half of the season. He's not finishing the season. Brendan Ayuk, he comes in right before the start of the season. He didn't really do anything in the off-season work or preseason games. Gets a big contract. He gets a lot of eyes on him. He gets hurt. Defensive line spent a majority of the year hurt. Offensive line was banged up. Purdy missed a game or two. But I don't know. We've always found a way to bounce back in years past. And this is just a bad year. It looks like we're going to get a draft pick somewhere in like the 12s. And it sucks. But we had a really, really good game today. Bears game, we beat the shit out of the Bears. That was a fun game to watch. I knew right there at that moment, I think I said this might be the last good feeling of the year. This game right here was my favorite game of the season. This was fun. It did not end the way that I wanted it to, but the Lions have a chance of going to the Super Bowl, and they wanted to win this game. It's not like they had the backup quarterback, the backup running back, they didn't have any receivers out there, nobody on the defensive line. They were playing to win this game, and we pushed them to the third quarter, fourth quarter, whatever you want to say. And it's a moral victory. You can't put that in the sports page tomorrow. You're not going to be able to read it, especially with the final score the way it is. It sucks. Jake Moody, I don't know. I don't want to drag the guy through the streets. But when they scored the touchdown, when Dobbs ran it in, it was fun seeing Dobbs and Jennings out there, the old Tennessee Falls, just hooking each other up. And it took 2 passes before I was like, oh, shit, I remember this. But when Dobbs scored the touchdown, the first thing I thought of was like, okay, Moody, go out there and save your job. And then he missed the extra point. I was thinking about the onside kick. I wasn't even thinking about the extra point. Just kick the damn point, man. Then he just kicked the ball on the onside kick. I understand there's only been 3 onside kicks recovered, but you at least got to give your team a chance. He just kicked the ball out of bounds. And it's almost like he's never done it before. And you know damn well that they practice that shit all the time. I don't know. Niners probably get another kicker. I had said for years, why don't you draft a kicker? Why don't you draft a kicker? You get a good one. You know that you're going to have them, on the team for 10 plus years. Instead of going out and getting like these old veterans that you get 2 years out of them. Phil Dawson, Akers. Niners had some really good kickers that a couple of years were kind of the MVP of the team. And, shoot, I wish I could remember the guy's name who came over from the Browns. He was really good too. But we finally go out and we draft a kicker. We're 2 years in. I understand there's not a lot of young kickers in the league. They're always like old veterans that seem like they've been in the league for 15 years. I don't know where they go. And then they come back, like in between college and being these vets. But I'd be surprised if Moody kicks for the 49ers next season. That's just me. I don't know who they're going to get, who they're going to sign, who they'll bring in, if they'll try and draft another one. But this was a fun game. We did not win. We lost our 10th game of the season, but I can say I'm proud of the team for losing the way that they did. We'll have to see what's going on with Purdy. 2 years ago, we had the off season where it was almost like we didn't even know if he was going to be able to throw the football again because he came back from the injury in the NFC Championship game. This looks like something in his arm/hand. They kind of were making it seem like it was more of an arm problem. Him not being able to grip the ball. Gripping the ball makes me think of his hands like his fingers. So, I don't know. He just took a hard sack. Hopefully he'll be able to bounce back. I don't want to see Josh Dobbs play this last game against Arizona. I'm not saying this is a must-win game, but I want to win this game against Arizona. I want Brock Purdy out there. Let's go.